nicknames over the years, but none have been more embraced than this one. The Pirates will set an attendance record today, a worthy cause to celebrate for a team that has played 127 summers. The Bucs hope they can play some more baseball in front of their home fans this year, and a win today against the Brewers will go a long way towards making that possibility happen. It's the Pirates and the Brewers, and it begins right now on Root Sports.
Ashore, who's coming ashore to the Pirates game today at PNC Park. A capacity crowd is expected. It's the final Kids Day Sunday. It's also the final regular season home game as the Pirates look for a series victory as they take on the Milwaukee Brewers in Game 3 of this 3-game series. Central Division standings, the Pirates 3.5 behind the division-leading Cardinals to start action today. They are just 1 off the pace of the San Francisco Giants for the top wild card spot. Hi again, everyone, along with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Smikowski with us as well. The Pirates' starting pitching has been a big reason they are where they are, and despite last night's 1-0 loss, Edison Volquez a 7-inning, 3-hit shutout performance for him. But, Bob, the starting pitching has been very, very good the last month or so.
Well, you never see a Major League Baseball team going any kind of a good stretch of games without the foundation of that, which always is the starting pitching. And it's no different with the Pirates of late. The starters have come out and they've done just a fantastic job. You look at that 2.59 ERA. You have a starting rotation with the ERA in the mid-2s. You're going to win a lot of ball games. Obviously, that is first in the National League.
And that is our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. Starting pitchers this afternoon for the Brewers, Willie Peralta. He's been a big surprise for the Brewers this year with 16 victories. He will take on Vance Worley. Worley has not started in 11 days.
Now, Peralta's a very hard thrower. He can bring it up there in the upper 90s for most of the ball game. We've got to be ready to hit the fastball. And Vance Worley, as with almost all of our starting pitchers, all of our pitchers, period, likes to pitch here at PNC Park. He has felt very comfortable here. 6 starts, he's won 4 of them.
Well, Willie Peralta and Vance Worley, the pitching matchup on this day. The fans are appreciated at PNC Park. The Pirates expecting to set a PNC Park attendance record. Pirates hoping to send the fans home happy. A lot of emotion displayed last night in Game 2 of this series. The Brewers would come out ahead at the end of it 1-0. Andrew McCutchen hit twice by Matt Garza pitches last night. He actually had 4 plate appearances without an official at bat. Second time in his career that has happened. And Garza took exception to some of the comments made by Greg Brown and Steve Blass last night. Let's take a look at the Brewers lineup. It is brought to you by Honda. Leading off is Gomez, then Scooter Gennett in the 2 spot. Jonathan Lucroy bats third. He's got a 6-game hitting streak going with a double and 3 RBIs. Ramos Ramirez in the cleanup spot. Ryan Braun will bat 5th. Gerardo Parra in left field today. Lyle Overbay back at first base. Gene Segura at short, and the pitcher Willie Peralta will bat 9th for the Brewers. Manager Ron Renicky, who was thrown out of the ball game last night along with Matt Garza, back in the dugout today. Moods seem to be a little bit better around here this morning into the early afternoon. And Vance Worley getting set to make another start for the Pirates, doing it on the 11 days rest.
Hey, he got skipped, I guess is the best word for it, so he should be strong. And one of the things that I always wonder about when you get a little extra time is how's your control going to be. His control always has been better than most, just 22 walks and almost 100 innings. But that's one thing I think anytime somebody has had those extra days off and they might be feeling some adrenaline and real strong, they got to guard against maybe trying to overthrow a little bit.
Home plate umpire Rob Drake coming over to the Milwaukee dugout. And I think it has something to do with the telephones in the dugout. Clint Hurdle perhaps saying that the phones weren't operating at this point in time. So if they can't for one team, they can't for the other, I guess.
Let's take a couple cell phones out there. I mean, this is the 21st century.
You can text who you want up in the pen.
We don't need flag signals.
So the crew chief, Joe West, will come over to the Pirate dugout.
If that's what it is. I mean,
I thought I had heard Rob Drake mention something about the phones from one of the field mics, but we will see. Rob Drake behind the plate. There you see Joe West, the crew chief. He'll be at second. Alan Porter, the umpire, at first base today. And last night's home plate umpire, Marty Foster, is in back of third. Jonathan Lucroy leads the National League in doubles with 52. And his next one, starting as a catcher, will give him a major league record. I'll tell you about that when he's up. Andrew McCutchen hitting .309 to start the day. Vance Worley has the ball in his glove, and we are ready to go. First pitch to Gomez is in for a strike. And one thing that you normally see out of Gomez, you see him swinging at the first pitch. That time he did not. Gomez, a .281 hitter. Swings at the second one and knocks it off the top of the Pirate dugout. Worley gets ahead of him. 0-2. Gomez, an extremely aggressive hitter at the plate. A good year. 21 homers and 69 runs batted in. 0-2 pitch. Foul it straight back. How do you like the stirrups that Worley's got on there, Bob?
Good. That goes with the uni. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's good luck.
Old school. Nothing in 2 pitch. Foul back again.
Yeah, there's one of those pitches that not really close to where he wanted to throw it. He missed his spot there probably by about, 3 feet at least. That was supposed to be a slider down and away. It stayed up and in. Big miss. So that's kind of the thing you look for sometimes.
It's just off the plate.
But you see that number 4 pitch up there in the strike zone. That was the spot that that slider went, and that's a long ways from down and away. You can see the number 4. Now look down where that number 1 was.
Ground ball to third. And J-Hay throws out Gomez to start the ball game.
Busy series for J-Hay. Busy series.
Plenty of activity down there at third. Starts this game off with a.
You can see where Russ wants the ball. Down and away, and it was just hung right down the middle. So right now, early on, with just the very first hit of the ball game, the command of that slider, the breaking pitch is not there.
1 out. Batter is Scooter Gennett, left-handed hitting second baseman. And Worley's pitch to him. His low ball one. 1-0 to Gennett. Gennett with 9 homers and 54 runs batted in. Started the ball game last night. Weeks finished for him, and it was the opposite in game 1. Gennett fouls it back. 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the 133rd game Gennett has appeared in for the Brewers, making his 109th start at second base. Weeks sits this one out, at least for the start. Weeks had a homer in game 1 of the series. Now the 1-1. And a ground ball towards short. Right there is Mercer. 2 men gone. Jonathan Lucroy has been the backbone for this Brewers team this year, coming to the plate. Lucroy has tied Pudge Rodriguez for the most number of doubles by a catcher. Rodriguez set the record in 1996 with the Rangers, 45 doubles as a catcher. Lucroy has 45 as a catcher, 52 total. He has 6 as a starter at first base and 1 as a designated hitter. First pitch in for a strike to Lucroy.
I talked about this several times during the course of the season about how talented the catchers are, the catching in general in this National League Central. There's 2 of the best right there.
0-1 pitch. Lucroy takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now you think about this division, of course, start with Russell Martin. You think of Yadier Molina, Jonathan Lucroy. All really, really good in the Central. And for Cincinnati, Pennsylvania native Devin Mesoraco had a career year this year.
Yeah, all-star season.
1-1. That is just a bit low. Looked pretty good. Caught a lot of plate, but just under the knees, and the count is 2-1. Or was it below the knees? Well, looks like it caught the strike zone as well as the plate. Here we go again. Now it's ball 3. We've seen the low strike called often during the course of this series. And oftentimes pitches that have been low, below the strike zone, have been called a strike. Last night, an example of it. So Worley ready for the 3-1 to Lucroy. And Lucroy, a bouncer to J-Hay, plays the in-between hop. 3 men up, 3 ground balls.
Let's go hits.
No score after half inning. Andrew McCutchen of the Pirates coming to bat. score. We go to the bottom of the first. Brewers and the Buccos. And Josh Harrison getting ready to lead off for the Pirates. Toyota lineup. Harrison on top. And Travis Snider in the 2 spot. Andrew McCutchen bats third. Last night 2 walks. Hit by a pitch twice. Did not have an at bat in 4 plate appearances. Neil Walker will bat cleanup. Russell Martin 5th. Starling Marte hits 6th. Then Ike Davis in the 7 hole. Jordy Mercer 8th. And the pitcher Vance Worley batting 9th. And facing Milwaukee right-hander Willie Peralta. Well, the crew chief, Joe West, on the headset. I'm not sure if he'd be talking to the replay operations center or the press box, but remember before the top of the first inning, something was up. We haven't been informed.
The lights?
Could be. The lights are not on here, and it is overcast. But again, we're not sure. Hopefully, we'll get some word on what that's all about.
Yeah, you can see the dark clouds that have kind of come over a little bit, and that's just a possibility. A lot of times, even though it's a day game, they'll want the lights on. Peralta, we said earlier, he's a very hard thrower, can average about 96 miles an hour, which is pretty good for a starting pitcher, much like Cole. And mixes in mainly a slider, but we do a great job of hitting the hard throwers. These Pirate team, a lot of good fastball hitters. He's going to have to, I think, rely not just on that real good velocity he has. He's going to have to throw a lot of sliders.
Josh Harrison begins the afternoon just behind Justin Morneau. In batting average, Morneau with a .318 average. Josh .317. There's the pitch, and the 0-1 is hit out of play to the right. Well, we understand that the telephones from the clubhouse to the dugout, so they go back and get the word on the video replays.
Oh,
we understand there's an issue perhaps in the third base dugout right now, and they're trying to get that repaired.
Yeah,
so
that's very important nowadays to be able to talk to your video guys to know whether to challenge a play or not. Got to have that working.
Peralta's 0-2 to Jay. Swung on and missed. Harrison out on strikes. 1 down for the Pirates. A quick out for Peralta.
We've talked about that slider of his. That might be a big pitch for him because of the Pirates are such good fastball hitters. There's the slider. Very hard, good location too. That ball down and away, right where he wanted it, right where Luke Roy called for it.
Harrison 0 for 1. Here's Travis Snider. Snider a .262 hitter. Travis doubled in his first at bat last night. Looking for a fastball here. That was low. 2 balls, no strikes to Travis. Jonathan Lucroy again issuing a fastball sign, and that is low, 3-0. Last night there was some discussion about Lucroy and his signs and something with it tugging on his jersey, but not doing that at all so far today. And just prior to the game today, they were talking about it in the Brewer dugout. Snider walks. And the Pirates with a man aboard.
Well, one of the things that they really love to see this afternoon is if we can get off to some kind of a lead. It's been a series where you're putting a lot of pressure on the Pirates starters to be perfect. And I know in these kind of games there's pressure anyway, but to get out to some kind of a crooked number early would really make this game a little easier for Vance.
Strike called to Kutch. No balls and a strike to McCutchen. Snyder off of first, and the stretch and the pitch and a ground ball. One hopper, Segura to Jeanette, double play. And that's the inning. Go to the second at PNC Park, no score. Speaking of replays, we understand now that the issue down on the third base dugout is there's problems communicating from the dugout to the Pirate clubhouse. There's a problem with the replay equipment. And Ramirez fouls this pitch back. And if the Pirates do lose a challenge today, they'll be able to continue to ask for reviews if they can't get the equipment fixed, is what we understand. Just another wrinkle in the replay.
That sounds like that's a fair thing to do, though, don't you think? To be able to do that.
Well, it's a fair thing. Yes. No balls and 2 strikes. Ramirez 0 for 8 in the series. It's this one in the air to right near the line. Chasing after it is Snyder. Ball slicing, and it's fouled into the seats.
Snyder is doesn't matter if he's right field, left field. He really does a great job getting quickly to those foul lines. Especially, I think when he's out left, that's his glove side.
Ground ball up the middle. Worley tried to get a glove on it behind his back, but Ramirez, the leadoff single. That's the first hit of the ball game.
And for a right-hand pitcher, anything to that side, very tough to come up with.
The most popular way to follow the Pirates' push to the postseason is with MLB.com at bat. The #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get at bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. Ryan Braun, 273 hitter, 19 homers and 81 runs batted in. He's got Ramirez at first base and nobody out. And Braun hits a hard line drive foul for strike one.
Braun been moving around in that lineup this year for him.
He was second in the order in game one on Friday. Now batting fifth for the second straight game. Ron Roenicke tries to find a place to make him the most productive.
Right-handed, left-handed. It sometimes makes sense to move guys in different spots. Where the Pirates were doing that early on with Walker. He'd hit cleanup. He'd hit fourth against all right-hand pitching, and then somewhere else against lefties. But that's not the case anymore. He's been pretty much locked in no matter who's on the mound at that cleanup position. But some guys will move depending on who the starting pitcher is. Doing that with Braun.
Ground ball to short. There's Mercer. Flips to Walker. Double play.
Nice firm ground ball. Leading Mercer toward the second base bag. This is room service here. Nice job. Boy, right down the middle. Had a great pitch to hit. And he just put it right to Mercer. Nice turn by Walker.
Braun grounds into a double play. That's the 16th time this year he's done that. Second on the club behind only Ramirez, who's done it 18 times. And now Parr lays down a bunt. And Gerardo Parra will walk to first. Gerardo Parra making his first start in the series, the former Diamondback, with a bunt base hit.
With 2 outs. It's interesting that he would do that. And with 2 outs, you're usually going to be successful if you get that ball down probably about 90% of the time. The team is worried about you hitting a double with 2 outs, getting yourself in the scoring position rather than bunting for a single. So that's kind of what everybody's guarding against. Kind of like in this situation here. There's nobody playing third base. You could get a bunt single if you wanted.
Lyle Overbay had a pair of doubles last night and had a very, very fortunate double for him in the ninth. Got a lucky bounce over the first baseman Gabby Sanchez's head and down the right field line, and that ended up moving Ilian Herrera over to third base. Herrera would eventually score the game-winning run in the 1-0 Brewers win. It was a bad break for the Pirates on the bounce that went over the head of Sanchez into right field off the bat of Overbay. Lyle certainly would take it. At his 13th and 14th doubles of the year yesterday, Ike Davis steps in the bag and catches the ball in the same motion. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left, no score.
Pirates baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank. Know where you stand with PNC Total Insight. Let's go, Bucks!
Bottom of the second at PNC Park. No score. Pirates and the Brewers. Get your own Russell Martin fan.
Fan, I get it.
Yeah. That's the kids' knit ski cap giveaway.
He need those, son.
Nice hat. Kids 14 and under. Wearing those today. Pittsburgh kid getting set to lead off. Neil Walker. Walker, Martin, and Marte. Walker pitch inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Neil went 0 for 4 in last night's game. Looking to have a good series finale. You know, this might be the last home game of the regular season, Bob, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to be the last Pirates home game.
Well, let's hope not.
It just doesn't feel like it at all. It feels like we'll be back here playing again really soon.
Well, that's to be decided this next week.
Chopper down to first. And Overbay tags the bag, and there's 1 out. You can host your next special event at the ballpark. PNC Park is perfect for corporate outings, weddings, holiday parties, and more. Catering options are available in the Lexus Club, Pittsburgh Baseball Club, or the Rivertown Brewing Hall of Fame Club. Take a 360-degree virtual tour of the event spaces. Go to pirates.com/PNC Park Events. Gunner's Lounge. Nice spot. 1 out. Russell Martin, the batter. Russ takes outside for ball 1. Fans believing.
Agrees with you. There's going to be more home games this season. Hopefully more than just one also.
Martin fouls this one off. Well, even though the Pirates lost last night, so did the San Francisco Giants. They tried to come back against the Padres. Padres would hold on and win it 3-2. Andrew Cashner pitched a very good ball game for San Diego. So the Giants have lost 2 straight. The Pirates still a game back of the Giants for the top wild card spot. Martin lifts this one into right field, and Braun under it. 2 men out.
You were explaining last night also when we were over on the radio that we have the tiebreaker, the Pirates do. So even if they're tied, they still get the home game.
Yep, Pirates have won 4 of 6 against the Giants this year. So if they finish tied with San Francisco, the wild card game would be here in Pittsburgh. So in this case, ties win. But the Pirates still mathematically with their eyes on the division. 3.5 behind the Cardinals.
It's just 3 in the loss column too. We got a chance with the Cardinals having an off day to pick up that half game without any help at all from anybody else. So we got to have them losing though. They have to start losing some games. Maybe a little 3-game streak, something like that, where they get in a little trouble.
Yeah, they've got the Cincinnati Reds at home today. Then the off day, then they play the Cubs in Chicago, then go on to Arizona. Face the Diamondbacks. That's who the Cardinals have left.
Might be my favorite Jolly Roger.
Yeah, the Keystone one. Seeing them wave more and more frequently around here as the season got later. Marte in the air to center field. And Gomez will make the catch. And the Pirates gone in order. Willie Peralta used 10 pitches to retire the side.
After Andrew McCutchen was hit by a pitch twice in a game for the first time in his career, and the manager of the Brewers, Ron Renneke, had a few things to say about the subject of intent. And here are his words after the ball game last night.
There's too much on the line right now. They understand that Garza wasn't hitting him on purpose. There's no doubt. That's a smart crew over there. They understand it. But they also understand that they've got a guy that they can't lose out of their lineup again. I get that. I understand it. So I understand why they're upset about it. We would be too. Regardless of whether it's on purpose or not, it still can put your guy out of the game.
And Andrew McCutchen was asked that same question after the ball game, the subject of intent. He said, yeah, there was intent to throw the fastball inside and off the plate because he wasn't getting many pitches to hit in his first couple of bats that he saw, Tim. So, yeah, the intent was to get the fastball in, obviously not to hit Andrew McCutchen with the pitch. But he shook it off just like you'd expect Andrew to do and said, hey, we got bigger things to worry about, and that's winning a ball game. So I think that should pretty much clear up any subject with regard to the word intent.
I think Andrew said after the game he had about one pitch that he could take a swing at during the game. This one is by the railing and just out of the reach of Ike Davis. Gene Segura with an 0-2 count on him. Brewers shortstop hitting .238. 4 home runs, 28 runs batted in. As the Brewers hitters come to the plate, you'll notice the sun glare black they've got underneath their eyes, and it seems like each player who's wearing it has their own different design today. Mercer with a backhand, leaping throw, not in time. Segura beat it out.
Too much speed. I really don't see where Mercer could have done anything different. You know, if he tries to come to a stop, plant that back foot, and make a stronger throw, well, then that's going to take time and maybe cancel out the fact that he's got more on the baseball. So I think he made the right decision, just tried to get rid of it as quick as he could. Got it over there pretty much on the fly and on target. It was a nice throw.
Peralta will try to bunt Segura to second. Gets the bunt down. Worley will field it. Throws to Walker. And there's one out. Sacrifice number 8 for Willie Peralta on the season.
Nice bunt, correct direction. And some small ball. Infield hit, bunt him over.
Well, might need some small ball based on the way this series has gone.
Yeah.
Not a lot of runs.
You can say that. This has been a well-pitched series to this point. Still no score in the ball game.
Gomez second time up. First time he grounded out to Josh Harrison. Edinson Volquez last night, super job as a starter. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs. He struck out 6 through exactly 100 pitches. And Edinson, over his last 9 starts, has 4 positive decisions. He's 4-0 with an ERA close to 1.5. Late strike call to Gomez. Now he's in the hole 0-2. Nothing in 2 to the Brewers center fielder.
How often do you think he goes 0-2 without swinging the bat?
Not very. Not very, unless they're foul balls.
Without swinging the bat?
Oh, no. Without swinging?
Yeah,
no,
that's what
probably
I meant.
hardly ever. 0-2. Swings the bat, pops it up. Snyder finds it, makes the catch. Sky has turned bright. It was overcast a while ago, so it has changed conditionally as the outfielders look up. Time to show us how you root for the Bucks. Be our AT&T fan photo of the day. Show us the most unique ways you raise the Jolly Roger, the fun places you watch the games on Root Sports, or how you display your Pirate pride. Just submit a picture via Twitter using the hashtag BucksFanPhoto for a chance to have them shown during our telecast. Scooter Gennett with 2 outs and Segura at second base. And a ground ball toward Mercer. Brewers will strand another base runner. Carlos Gomez not in a good mood. Kick off your Sunday nights with Panthers Rewind on Root Sports. Relive every Panthers touchdown, pass, and play from their most recent matchup. Every Sunday night this fall, continuing with yesterday's game against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Panthers Rewind tonight at 6 on Root Sports. No score, bottom of the third inning. Pirates and Brewers, final meeting of the season and the last home game of the regular season. Glad you're with us. Look at that reflection of the day.
Need those glasses now.
You do. You didn't a little while ago, but now you definitely do. Ike Davis will lead off. It'll be 7, 8, 9 for the Pirates. Davis, Mercer, and the pitcher Vance Worley. And Ike takes up high for ball one. .234 the average. Here's the 1-0. That's down low. Pirates come in today with a magic number of 5.
Yep. Same as yesterday.
Yep. And with a win today head-to-head against Milwaukee, the team that's chasing them in the wild card, they would knock 2 games off and get it down to 3. That is to clinch a playoff spot.
Now, Brewers mentioned this first game of the series. They really can't come in here feeling like their back is against the wall, that they just can't afford even to lose one game.
2-1. And Ike fouls it in and out of the glove of Lucroy. 2-ball, 2-strike count. The Cardinals, meantime, have a magic number of 1 to clinch the postseason. If they win today, they're in, at least in a wild card spot. Their magic number to clinch the division is 5. The Pirates chasing. Willie Peralta's 2-2 to Ike Davis. Down full, 3-2.
So that really gives you kind of an insight on how the Brewers feel right now. The way we feel about the division is like, well, it's possible. Got to keep plugging away at it. Got to keep hoping. And that's how the Brewers feel about catching us, because their magic number is the same. The magic numbers are the same, both up to 5.
Yeah. Our Nissan Road ahead. Here is what is still to come. Second in the wild card at Atlanta, at Cincinnati coming up. The Cardinals go to Chicago, then go to Arizona. Giants have the Dodgers and Padres. Padres playing good ball since the All-Star break. They have taken 2 of the first 3 against the Giants. Cincinnati and Chicago. Brewers will finish with the Cubs at home. And the Braves have the Pirates for 4 straight. They're 7 back of the Pirates. That second wild card spot. Braves could be eliminated as soon as today. And the Mets are in front of the Braves right now, 2-0 in the third. So if the Mets win, that would eliminate Atlanta.
The Braves are what Pete's always looking for. Toast.
Toast. Referring to Pete Toma, our director. Yeah, toast on Sundays.
They're done. They 7 back with 7 to play. No chance.
Couldn't find a toaster today.
Yeah, there's one down there, I'm sure.
It's one on the club level. We can use. Nothing in 2 now. The count to Jordy Mercer.
Ice cream machine working?
I don't know. Didn't use it today. But I saw others use it. Pitch outside. Yeah, it was working. Ike Davis, the leadoff walk, is at first base. Mercer trying to get him around. No Brew for the Crew. Two balls and 2 strikes. Jordy last night reached base on a fielder's choice and an intentional walk. And 0 for 3. Feeding his parrot.
Probably want a cracker. What was the parody? Is that a nacho? I couldn't tell.
Didn't look like he had much of a choice. The way he was being fed. Wipe off the beak next.
Yeah. Got the helmet on. That's good.
2-2 to Jordy. And a ground ball toward the middle. Picked up by Segura. Safe at first is Mercer.
Well, this is see Renicky walking up to the top step. I'm wondering if he might go out and ask them to take a look at this. It's close play. We'll take a look at it. We don't have to ask anybody.
Alan Porter with the call at first.
Safe. Good call.
Mercer reaching on the fielder's choice. One out and a man aboard for Vance Worley.
Now Vance will be trying to sack bunt here.
He has done it 4 times successfully. Third baseman Ramirez laying on the grass at third and charging. Vance pulls it back, takes the ball. Both corner infielders coming in. It's one of those plays, if the sack gets down with both corner infielders in, second baseman covering first, shortstop covering second. If you're Mercer, you might want to peek at third. Might be wide open. Two for 30 this year for Vance. And the 1-1 coming. Worley gets the bunt down first. Nicely done by Worley. Lucroy throws to Jeanette.
Very nice.
2 outs. Pirates have a man in scoring position for Josh Harrison. He's a one-man highlight show. Josh Harrison's physical gifts and unbreakable competence have helped him burst onto the national scene this year. Here are exclusive interviews from his family, teammates, and more as you follow his rise from bench player to all-star and everyday third baseman on a special Inside Pirates Baseball. Jay Hay every day, Tuesday after postgame on Root Sports. Jay Hay every day. His brothers Vihey and Shea Hay, very proud of him. His entire family. What he has been able to accomplish this season. Josh takes upstairs. He is 0 for 1 today. Struck out in the first. This year with runners in scoring position, Harrison hitting .365. This one foul. It's 1-1. Two outs and runners in scoring position, hitting .380. Good situation for Josh with Mercer at second. Peralta delivers the 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. We saw Manny St. Ian last night. Bobby delivered some sandwiches to the booth and happened to see a note on him yesterday that in 1975 St. Ian hit .381 with runners in scoring position for the entire season. Russell Martin trying to catch him as far as the catching position goes. He's just right behind him. And a ground ball that is toward the middle. And this is going to be a base hit. Play too slow to develop, and Jay Hay beat it out.
I was kind of hoping Segura would rush himself into a bad throw there. And this ball is dribbling up the middle. Segura doesn't have much time, and there's a guy at third. Probably a lot of shortstops would have just put that one in the pocket, maybe faked the throw, looked over there, see what was happening. Look at Overbay having to scramble to keep that one from going to the dugout, costing the Brewers the first run of the ball game.
Mercer at third base and Harrison over at first. 2 down for Travis Snyder. Snyder walked in the first inning. Strike on the corner. Snyderman and Super Russ. It is the Action League.
Let's get close to Halloween.
And a bouncer to Jeanette. Goes on to first, and the Pirates will strand 2. 1 hit. Heading to the 4th. No score.
On Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Traverse and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucks.
Here's our Day Automotive this day in Pirates history. This date, 1972. The Pirates beat the Mets 6-2 as Steve Blass won his 18th game of the season, going the distance for the Bucks. It was the Pirates' 91st win of the year and gave them a 12-game lead in the National League East for clinching a postseason berth for the 3rd straight year. It was part of a string of 3 straight shutouts. And good news for Steve today. The Pittsburgh chapter of the Baseball Writers Association of America has decided they are going to name the Pirates Pitcher of the Year award the Steve Blass Award. I'm not sure if Steve knows this or not yet. We're telling everybody first.
This is really awesome news. I absolutely am thrilled to hear that they've done that. Everybody knows how we feel about Steve. And to have that award named after him, I think that is a great choice.
They have 3 awards that they vote on. The Clemente Award is the team MVP. The Tanner Award, Chuck Tanner Award, they give out to the most cooperative player to the media. And the Pitcher of the Year will now be known as the Steve Blass Award.
He's won so many huge games in his Pirate career. World Series games.
Jonathan Lucroy at the plate. Lucroy grounded out to third in the first inning. He takes low. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm hoping Greg has told Steve by now. I set it up with him before the game. When you see Steve on TV, that's what we're talking about. So if Steve hadn't been informed about it, he knows now. He knows now. Right back at Worley. 1 out.
But a few balls hit back over the mound. It's able to flag this one down. Kind of lean back a little bit.
Defended himself like any good Vanimal would.
That's a great feeling when you get that ball sitting inside the glove.
Couldn't get that one, but Walker's got it in his glove, and Ramirez is out. A couple of shots toward the middle, loved by Pirates defenders, and there are 2 men down in the Brewers' half of the 4th inning.
You know, that's another thing that happens to you too, right there. Beside that good feeling you'd have when you do catch one, it's right about now you're saying to yourself as that ball goes by you, are you kidding me? I had the out right there. All I had to do was catch the ball. But then you look behind you, and there's an infielder standing right there, and you go, oh, okay. And then, not such a bad deal.
2 outs on 2 ground balls. Ryan Braun, the batter, he hit into a double play in the second.
Kind of like when you miss with a pitch, and you know it's just off the plate a little bit, and you go, oh, man. And then you get a surprise call. And oh, okay.
And you're like, I didn't do very well, but I guess I did.
No, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, why not?
It happens every now and then. It's the same deal with those balls up the middle. There's a lot of them that you think you're going to catch, and then you don't. And for that split second, you're thinking that you had an out, and now it's going to be a base hit, but the second baseman usually standing right there.
That's past Mercer out into left field, and Braun's got a single with 2 outs. Ryan Braun is aboard, and this will bring up Gerardo Parra to face Vance Worley. Parra reached on a bunt base hit with 2 outs in the second inning. .268 for Parra. He was part of a deadline deal, one of a couple of deals that the Diamondbacks made at the end of July. Parra swings and misses. And that is strike 1. Worley without a strikeout yet. He's got a number of ground ball outs to a lot of pitchers. 10-1.
Oh, you love that. I mean, that's great. Plus, you keep your pitch count down like that. This is only his 40th pitch of the game.
Ahead of Parra, 0-2. He's got 2 outs and a runner aboard, and he's only thrown 8 pitches this inning. And just 7 balls, 33 strikes. He has been around the plate all afternoon so far. Braun off of first, and the 0-2 from Worley to Parra. Swung and a miss, strike 3. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We played 3.5. And we are still scoreless at PNC Park. Day here late September at PNC Park. Clint Hurdle and the Pirates scoreless for the Brewers. Before the game, Clint received an award from the Pittsburgh Rotary Club for winning the Chuck Tanner Major League Manager of the Year award from last year. The presentation and the trophy this year. Pittsburgh Rotary Club issues the Chuck Tanner Award to a Major League Manager once a year. Clint was this last year's recipient. He got the team to Bucktober.
Well, let's hope he goes back to back. Very deserving. A lot of people have been talking about how this might be a better job this year than managing last year's team. A lot of things to have to overcome. That guy in the box right there, missing some time.
Andrews 0 for 1 this afternoon, hit into a double play. Charlie Morton has had issues. In fact, he's going to go see a specialist in North Carolina and make a stop in Nashville while the team is on the road. He has a doctor there that he may see. But Charlie trying to get his situation figured out. Pitch was inside to McCutchen. Fans didn't like it very much. 2-1 outside, 2-2. Peralta dealing 3-1. Ball 4. The leadoff man is aboard via a walk for the second straight inning.
Peralta all over the place that at bat. Most of his pitches at nowhere close to the strike zone.
Neil Walker will come up behind McCutchen. McCutchen aboard with nobody out. To first base and Kutch dives back safely. Brewers will keep an eye on McCutchen. McCutchen with 17 steals. If he gets 3 more, he'll be the first back-to-back 20-20 man since Barry Bonds in the early 90s. And the throw. Again, back easily is McCutchen. Takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. 3 walks issued this afternoon by Peralta. 1 to Snyder, 1 to Davis, and now 1 to McCutchen. Peralta 2-1 in 4 starts against the Pirates in his career. All of them have been at home at Miller Park. This is his first one against the Bucs here. Ground ball glances off the mound, and that's going to be a double play. Careened right towards Segura, who had the easy double play.
And it was hit hard.
Just like that, the crowd goes silent.
A hit and run. The Pirates actually trying to stay out of the double play. But in a sense, it helped the Brewers out. Segura had already started to go towards second base. Put him in a good position to turn that double play.
Neal's 0 for 2. Both Neal and Kutch have hit in the double plays today. 2 outs, base is empty. And Russell Martin at the plate. Wind has picked up, really blown out to left. Ground ball to short. Segura set his feet, and that does it for the Pirates in the 4th. This afternoon's game looking remarkably like last night's. Scoreless after 4.
PNC Park, you see kids take the field with the Pirates. They wait for the player, shake their hand, get an autograph, and have a cool moment with them. Well, today was even cooler as 9 players took the field today from the 4 Miracle Leagues supported by Pirates charities and greeted the players as they took the field before first pitch, including that young man. That is 11-year-old James Hogue, who's from New Brighton. He dressed up as the Pirate Parrot for Halloween, and part of the costume was his chair. So if you look down inside the wheels, he has the Zoltan Z and a Pirates flag on the chair, escorted by his older sister, Kristen. Now, Andrew McCutchen is his favorite player. And get this, Tim and Bob, this is his 11th game he has made at PNC Park this season, and he plays at the Miracle League field up in Cranberry. And look on the back. You see kind of little exhaust pipes that he has right back there, and the license plate. This is RTJR. How about that for Pirates fandom? 11-year-old James Hogue from New Brighton. Cool stuff.
RTJR raised Jolly Roger.
That's really a tremendous thing that the Pirates and a ton of folks have done to build those fields for those kids.
It's recently down in Wheeling.
I mean, it's so important.
Fantasy camp there is great.
To have those kinds of facilities. Really, I was going to say around this area here, but really around the country. Everywhere needs those facilities.
Vance Worley now 14 of 16 first pitch strikes. Didn't strike one in on Overbay. 1-1. Overbay grounded right to the first base bag in the second inning to end the inning. Mike Davis got there, put his foot on the bag, then caught the ball at the same time, and Overbay was out. 2-1. Two-one pitch to Overbay. Strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lyle had a bit of time with the Pirates. He's had 2 different stints with the Brewers. Last year, we started the year with Boston, was let go, and then ended up with the Yankees. And due to injuries, spent a lot of time as a regular first baseman in New York. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Worley this afternoon, and there's 1 out in the 5th.
I think he heard you when you mentioned he didn't have any yet. Now he's got 2 in a row.
Well, it's a reverse jinx.
Yeah, that's a good job on your part.
Yeah. Because of all the no-hitters I've broken all over baseball, every day. That time it worked in reverse.
That's an old trick, though. I learned that back in the minor leagues. We would sit in the dugout and we'd say, you know, that so-and-so hasn't grounded into a double play this entire season, and sure enough, boom.
It happens.
Play, yeah.
Isn't it funny how that works?
Yeah.
The power that we wield and that you wield is incredible. You got the lottery numbers, by the way? Just curious.
I do, but I don't use that information for good. I don't use it for personal gain.
I see. Nothing and 2 to Gene Segura at an infield single in the 3rd inning. One ball and 2 strikes. Just a hint. It doesn't matter what we say. It's going to happen anyway.
I don't know about that.
I think so. It doesn't matter what we say, Bob.
Yeah, but why take the chance? Might be slim.
It only matters what Steve says. If Steve says it's so, then it's so.
All right.
He is the grand poobah of the booth. On the right field line, long run for Snyder. And Snyder will not get it. Bounces out of play. It'll be a challenge with that short fence there. You've got to know when to slide and how to stop.
Yeah, you're not going to bounce off it if you go in running. You're going to go flipping right over it. So you got to try and go into that slide. You're sliding feet first into a base. Use your legs to cushion the blow as you slide into it. Very unique right field to have to deal with here at PNC. A lot of little issues you have to learn on defense.
2-2 is flared to Jordy Mercer. 2 men out. Let's go back to our Root Sports studios. Rob King has this game break.
Now the only question is it toast or what kind of toast is it? Is it wheat toast? They're done.
Peralta flies this one to center field. Can of corn from McCutchen. And a 1-2-3 top of the 5th. Halfway home at PNC Park. Pirates looking for a run.
Presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
No score, bottom of the 5th. Pirates and Brewers, final game of this 3-game set, last home game of the regular season at PNC Park. Let's take a look now at today's Allegheny Health Network injury update. Pirates headed to Atlanta. And Mike Minor left his start last night after 1 inning after experiencing shoulder discomfort. It's something that's been nagging him since spring training, but finally became too much to ignore. He was set to start Thursday against the Pirates this week, and right now the Braves have a TBA listed.
You know how certain injuries, it seems like that always are very prevalent, 1 year. And discomfort seems to be this year's injury. It's really going around all over the league.
Yep, a lot of discomfort, different kinds of it.
It's all discomfort.
Could be upper body, lower body, appendages. 1-0 pitch, and Marte hits this one to right field. And Braun will make the catch. 1 out. Marte is 0 for 2. Now Willie Peralta will face Ike Davis. Peralta 29 and 26 in his career, making his 68th start today. Had a no decision on Tuesday in an extra innings win by the Brewers over the Cardinals. 2 of the 3 games they played against the Cardinals went to extra innings. This team took 1. The Cardinals took the middle frame. Mike pops the first pitch up. Short center field. It is Segura. 2 down.
You know, see, Ike do that very often. Go after the very first pitch he sees. He's one of the most patient guys around. But this was a good one to hit. It was a fastball, right? Pretty much down the middle. Just got underneath it. If you're going to swing at the first pitch, that's the one you want to take a hack at.
2 quick outs in the bottom of the 5th. Jordy Mercer up. Mercer has traveled the furthest around the bases this afternoon for the Pirates. He went to third and was left there in the 3rd inning. Well, it's shaping up to be one of those games where somebody's going to have to scratch out a run again. Maybe it's one big swing, but
it's been the story of this series.
It's going to be another tight ball game. You know, the 1-0 win for the Brewers last night was their 3rd 1-0 win of the season. Their 69th in franchise history. And relatively speaking, they haven't had a lot of 1-0 ball games. Jordy to center field, right at Gomez. And Willie Peralta took just 6 pitches to retire the side in order. We'll head to the 6th, scoreless.
On Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
No score on a windy Sunday afternoon at PNC Park. Heading to the top of the 6th inning. Now, it was a 4-way tie and a 5-way tie in the pierogi race this year. This is to decide the whole thing. Potato Pete out of nowhere closing the gap. Sauerkraut Saul is in the lead. And a controversial finish.
Who breaks the tape? That's all I want to know. Who breaks the tape? Cheese. Cheese broke the tape.
Looked like Saul came up short, but to go to the replay operations center, and the Allegheny Health Network Supermo shows that the top of the bill.
You got to break the tape, though. It's
just touched it.
You got to break it. It's got to snap in half. This is a huge moment in pierogi history.
So the pierogies are finished for the regular season, and the award, the win was given to Sauerkraut Saul. So he is the 2014 regular season champion.
Not for me. In my mind, it's cheese.
And while that was going on, Carlos Gomez coming to the plate, and he slipped right there. Turned his left ankle a little bit. He's trying to walk it off. He will come to the plate and hit, but sometimes there are hazards when you don't expect them.
Hey, might cut down a swing a little bit, huh?
Doubt it. 0 for 2 for Gomez. Maybe you're right. It did cut it down a little. Gomez ended
Did you see where that pitch was?
Yeah.
And he swung at it?
He likes to swing at the first pitch.
No, that,
In the second.
that last at bat, he took 2 for a strike. Look at the UPMC Sports Medicine strike zone. Look where that ball ended up. I think he decides when he's walking up to the plate whether he's going to swing or not.
Walker stays with it, throws him out. And Gomez is 0 for 10 in this series.
The ankle looked good, right? Watching him get down the line, he was going hard. I don't think the ankle was a problem.
He's at least 0 for his last 16, I believe. I think he took an 0 for 6 on Thursday against the Cardinals. He's 0 for 9 in this series.
He's an awful flashy
0 for
player.
10,
One thing for sure, he does play hard. Can't ever take that away from him.
Jeanette grounds out. 2 quick ground ball outs.
Ground balls. That's the story for Vance.
Gomez being checked out. The way he ran, he looked okay.
Oh, yeah, he was definitely giving it 100% going down the line. And saw nothing that would lead you to believe he was favoring that ankle. I think we've all done that. Step into a little bit of a hole or something. You just very slightly turn it. Got to walk it off.
Lucroy takes a strike.
Not saying there's a hole down there to step in, but yeah, we saw Jay do it
In
Chicago, yeah, out in Wrigley.
The 11th inning of that continued game. 1 ball and 1 strike to Lucroy. So Lucroy 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice. For a strike, 1 and 2. This is a big game, obviously, for both teams as we are down the stretch. For the Brewers, in their perspective, it continues to give them life as far as trying to catch the Pirates for that second wild card spot. And Ron Renicky and his team desperately need wins down the stretch. Is up and in. Brewers are 2-12 in their last 14 road games.
There's been a lot of frustration, I think, probably for them to deal with over the last 3 weeks or so. And they spent so much time in first place, just about the entire season, and then here at the end, it's just slipped away from them.
And on the other side, a win for the Pirates. Put another game between themselves and the Brewers, who cut their magic number to 3. The Brewers' pulse would start to weaken on their 2014 season. Two from Worley to Lucroy. Did he go? Yes, he did, says Alan Porter on appeal. Third strikeout for Worley, and he retires the side in order for the second straight inning. See you in October. Great shots once again from our crew here on the Allegheny Health Network. Supermo. Winds blowing today. Well, my aunt works at Root Sports, and your aunt is Root Sports Operations Manager Gina Weiss. Gina thanks you. Worley will lead off. And Vance will take strike one. Vance put down a good sacrifice bunt in the third inning. Chase that pitch, and it's 0-2. Vance has 2 hits, one of them a double. That's it. Just Worley number 46. He's kind of got the glasses for it. And Worley down on strikes.
Well, the sign got a 10 for accuracy, but
that was it. It was accurate.
After that, there's a bunch of.
It's very black and white. It gets to the point.
Yeah, just.
It's right
Worley,
to it.
His number. All right, we'll fold it up now. We're done. There's something else on the other side. You see that?
Yeah, just plain white. No, what was on the other? Did you see something?
Yeah, there was something written on the other side. I think it was Harrison, number 5.
Wow. Jay Hay puts down a bunt. Sprinting for first. He'll have himself a base hit. 2 for 3 for Jay Hay. Challenge to Ramos Ramirez. Ramirez put it in his pocket. No throw.
They let him have it. Ramos playing back a little bit. It looked like Ramos was at least a couple of steps back on the dirt. Once this ball gets down, it's all over. Ramos could just hand the ball back to Peralta.
For the first, and Jay Hay is out. Picked off of first base by Peralta.
Jay Hay, one of the things that you absolutely love about him is his enthusiasm and his aggressiveness. He takes everything to the limit, and he took that lead to the limit. And it was a great move and a real good accuracy with the throw. That's what picked him off as much as anything else. Over being able to get the tag down so quickly because of where the throw was.
It looked like he was trying to get himself in position to break for second. Trying to get a man in scoring position. Too aggressive on that lead. Peralta's timing was very good, and the tag was good. 3-0 now to Snyder. Travis has walked once today. Also grounded out. Grounded out to Scooter Gennett at second. Strike call. 3-1 to Travis. Ground ball to short. And Segura takes care of Snyder. And that's it. No runs ahead. Nobody left. We'll go to the 7th. Still scoreless. next on your favorite football teams during press conference Tuesday on Root Sports. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin takes the podium first, live at noon, followed by Pitt's Paul Chryst at 1. And WVU head coach Dana Holgorsen at 1:30. Press conference Tuesday, every Tuesday at noon on Root Sports. Plenty to talk about this Tuesday. Steelers, Carolina, will be discussing that one. Look out over the convention center. Quite cloudy skies today. Pirates hoping to raise it one more time. They've raised it 50 times here this year. One of the best home records in baseball, looking for number 51 this afternoon, but no score. Ramos Ramirez leading off against Vance Worley to start the 7th. Ball one inside. And a rare first pitch ball delivered by Worley. He's been heavy with the first pitch strikes this afternoon. It's 1-1. Ramirez 1 for 2. Had a single in the second inning and then was erased when Braun hit into a double play. Grounded out to Walker in the 4th. This time he goes to right field. Back goes Snyder right there. The front of the warning track makes the catch. So 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. Let's take a look at our AT&T fan photo. You can submit one using the hashtag BucksFanPhoto on Twitter. This comes from Roy Todd. Breakfast with the Bucks out in Southern California today. That looks too good to eat. Great job, Roy. That was tremendous. 1 out. Here's Ryan Braun. To Braun. Braun had a base hit in the 4th. Nobody on base and 1 out for the Brewers, batting in the 7th. Two and 0. Worley has not beaten the Brewers in 4 career starts. 3 of those starts coming with the Phillies. 0-3 against Milwaukee. Pitched opposite Mike Fiers on the 24th of August in Milwaukee. Fiers would get the positive decision, and Vance not. Well, they're trying, guys. They're trying to get you a win. 3-0 pitch to Braun. Braun's numbers still pretty good, not nearly as good as they have been in recent years. But still very good with 81 runs batted in. Pops this one up. Playable on foul ground for Russell Martin.
Got that pitch inside.
A good sequence for Vance, in spite of the fact he started him 3-0. He came back with a strike and then got him to pop out foul. Got the out of it.
He didn't want to lose anything out over the plate. Nothing ball game. Braun definitely got pop in his bat. So tried to make him hit something where he couldn't get his arms out there extended. Couldn't get the head of the bat to the ball.
Parra reached on a bunt single with 2 outs and nobody on in the second inning. Struck out last time up. Slaps this one foul for strike 1. That's shaking off the first sign from Russ. And a bouncing ball to first base. Nice and easy for Ike Davis. Another ground ball out. And for the 3rd straight inning, Worley's retired the sign in order. He's retired 10 straight. It is stretch time at PNC Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you now to stand and join the Pirates and Major League Baseball as we honor America. Here to lead us with God Bless America are students from the St. Gabriel School Choir.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. We invite you to follow the bouncing Eden Park Smile.
Baseball. Rick Sofield works the players and crowd with some fun pregame antics. The team makes a visit to Banksville Elementary on Clemente Day, and there's much more to see on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, today after postgame on Root Sports. Time to beat 'em Bucks. And Andrew McCutcheon, first ball swinging, grounds one toward third, and he's going to be safe with an infield hit.
Well, he didn't drop one down like Jay Hay did, but pretty much the same thing. You got Ramirez having to give a little ground because of the way that Kutch can hit the ball, hits the ball so hard. So he's not in at all. He's way back. And when you hit this little dribbler on the grass, no chance. It's going to be a base hit every time.
Pirates have 3 hits this afternoon, all of them infield singles. Go to first and cuts back safely. Runs have been hard to get during this series. Pirates trying to get a precious one here in the bottom of the 7th. Goes to the backstop. And Kutch is around second. Pirates a man in scoring position and nobody out.
Now Walker ahead in the count too. 1 ball, no strikes. In a position now where he needs to pull the ball. Lucroy just kind of clanked that one. And now if Walker can pull this ball, that'll send McCutchen to third base, even if it's an out. Get into third with just one out.
They scored a passed ball on Lucroy. And pops this one into the seats, third base side. One and one to Walker. Last time up, Walker hit into a double play. Grounded out to first in the second inning. You'd take that ground ball to first here.
Oh yeah, that would be fine. I mean, ideally I want him to get a hit, but if he makes an out, I want it to be a productive out.
1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And this is belted down the line, foul.
Too quick, almost.
Cuts back to second base and a 1-2 count. Pittsburgh kid, the real deal. Everybody resets after Peralta steps off. 1-2 to Neal. Walker down on strikes. Here's who's bringing the lumber. It's brought to you by Yellowwood. Russell Martin. Last time he faced Peralta at Miller Park, he brought the lumber. Home run into the Brewer bullpen. Can Rush do it again? That's the question. Super Rush is my superhero. Not easy being super, but time to be super again.
He's super if he just even hits a single this time. I'll call him super.
Martin with an 11-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 2 today.
Hit a ground ball to the outfield grass. That's all we need.
And a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning on Friday to help the Pirates overcome a 2-0 lead and provide the necessary margin of victory. Pulled foul, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to Rush. Time is called. Lucroy needs to have a conference.
Quick conference. Looked like Lucroy had a question he wanted to ask him, got an answer. That was it.
Runners in scoring position. 376 average for Martin. This one gets away. And this changes things. Wild pitch, putting McCutchen at third. A pass ball and a wild pitch. After an infield single, it moved McCutchen around the bases.
Yeah, this really a major blunder. You were able to strike out Walker, which kind of saved you a little bit. Kept Kutch at second base, and then you have this happen. Like a fastball that he just bounced away outside. Nothing Lucroy could do when it's a fastball. You just try to knock it down with your glove. That's about it. Couldn't get it done.
Infield is in. And there's a base hit. And the Pirates on the board, 1-0.
Super Rush. He's super.
went to the utility belt and pulled out a single. The reaction of Martin here. He knows it. Martin with another key late season RBI.
A big game player right there. I think what he did last year, postseason.
Marte takes inside.
Opening game. Good approach right there. He's not trying to do too much. Just a nice short stroke, trying to punch a line drive. A snap hook fastball set it up. Didn't really end up make any difference though, because of the base hit the center field and scored touch anyway with his speed. But it changes when you have the infield now having to come in, and it really changes the way you're going to try and pitch. Russ might not have seen that exact same pitch that he got the hit on if it wasn't for that wild pitch.
Marte is 0 for 2. 1-0 is chopped toward third foul. 1-1 to Starling. Marte's had some big games lately. Really, since the All-Star break, he has been outstanding. Since he got back from the concussion disabled list on August 5th, he ranks first overall in the majors with an OPS over 1,000. Down and in. 1-2 now. One ball, 2 strikes. And Marte fouls it off. Starling trying to move Russell Martin around. Still 1 out. Martin at first, now with a 12-game hitting streak. And Marte takes outside 2-2.
99. Peralta is back to the wall here, is reaching back and is throwing as hard as he has all game.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Starling Marte. Willie Peralta ready to throw. And Marte breaks his bat. He'll have to get another one. Another part of the story here today is the attendance. 38,650, the 23rd sellout. It ties a club record. The 23 sellouts set last year, and a franchise record of over 2.4 million in attendance. Fans are absolutely outstanding. They have been filling up PNC Park. Terrific atmosphere here. Don't think the players don't notice. Marte, that's through for a base hit. First and second and 1 out. Marte now 1 for 3.
Hey, he saw those fastballs up in the upper 90s. One of them with at 99, but he stayed within himself. He gets a breaking ball here, a slider, and he's right on time. It really does have a great approach now up there hitting. Doesn't swing nearly as many bad pitches as he used to. Waits back. Doesn't get over anxious just because there's a real hard thrower on the mound.
1-0 Pirates. 2 on, 1 out. Ike Davis up. Davis had a big hit Friday night, drove in a key insurance run. Pirates 4-2 win. Strike one to Davis. Action of the Pirates bullpen. Big John Holtzcomb starting to loosen up. For his first major league win on Friday. Peralta ready to deliver the 0-1. An emergency swing there by Davis. He fouled it off.
That was just trying to stay alive.
Marte at first, Russell Martin at second base, Willie Peralta on the hill. Both pitchers have been very good this afternoon. And like last night, a pitcher's duel between the starters. Vance Worley, one of his better outings. Steps off, getting down to the bottom of the order. Davis the 7th hitter, Mercer 8th, and then Worley's spot would come up after that. That is why there is action in the Pirate pen. Brewers now have just gotten the right-hander up. Peralta's spot would be 3rd in the top of the 8th inning. One ball, 2 strikes to Ike Davis. So I think if Davis gets these runners around, it won't matter where Peralta's hitting. Stretch by Peralta. Runners off 1st and 2nd. Strike 3 call to Davis. Second strikeout of the inning. 2 men out.
So he tries to run a. I thought it was a slider. It really didn't break very much though. But it sat up there on the hands. And Ike either thought it was a ball or because of the location of the pitch, he couldn't pull the trigger on it. Knew he wouldn't be able to get to it in time.
Jordy Mercer takes ball 1 low and away. Well, Ike's still a little bit steamed over that. And Marco Estrada is up. Estrada had to come in suddenly yesterday when Matt Garza was ejected after 4 2/3 innings. Mercer pops this one up. This will be playable in fair ground. And the catcher Lucroy puts it away. Pirates get 3 hits in the inning. They get a run across finally. Russell Martin's RBI base hit scoring Andrew McCutchen. So Super Russ getting it done in the 7th. And we'll go to the 8th. It's a 1-0 Pittsburgh lead. Friday night. Boom. That happened off of Jonathan Buxton, and that went out, gave the Pirates a 3-2 lead. The Bucs would win the ball game. The curtain call, well-deserved for Martin. And this afternoon, driving in the go-ahead run on the bottom of the 7th, scoring McCutchen. He's had 2 go-ahead RBIs in this series. We start the top of the 8th inning with Bob Walker. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Inspikowski with us as well. Gregory Polanco goes out to right field, takes over for Snyder. And at first base, Gabby Sanchez will take over for Ike Davis. Defensive changes in the 8th inning.
Well, got to put this one away. Not a whole lot to work with, just one thin run out there, but sometimes you got to make it stand up.
Vance has retired 10 straight. Facing Lyle Overbay. And delivers a pitch just outside for ball 1. Nothing and 2 at the plate today for Overbay after a pair of doubles last night. Strike call. Right after the game, the Pirates jet to Atlanta, begin a 4-game series with the Braves. Brewers head to Cincinnati, a day off there tomorrow in the Queen City. Then they'll start a 3-game series with the Reds on Tuesday. Strike 2 to Overbay.
They've been able to run a couple of nice sliders inside for strikes to Overbay.
Justin Wilson has joined John Holtzcomb in the Pirate pen. Overbay down on strikes.
3 in a row. I'm going to say these are more cutters because of the velocity than sliders, but it doesn't make any difference. They're in excellent location on all 3 of these. See the UPMC Sports Medicine strike zone. They're right there. And at 89 mile an hour, I think you're going to have to call that a cutter. That's getting pretty close to fastball velocity for Vance.
Worley will now face a pinch hitter, left-handed batter Matt Clark. Clark will hit for the shortstop Segura. Clark, pretty highly touted prospect by the Brewers. This is the 13th game he's appeared in. Made his big league debut on the 2nd of September at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. Got 3 big league home runs in just 12 prior games. 0-1 pitch. Now it's 0-2. Vance Worley now in the 8th with an out. Makes the 4th straight Pirates starter to go at least 7. Going back to Garrett Cole's performance against the Red Sox on Thursday. Strike 3 called. Got him looking.
Got him looking inside and then painted one away. I think that's what really happened here. And got a nice call, even though that was supposed to be inside. He actually misses his location here by a couple of feet. If you look where the target is, and a lot of times when the catcher has to reach back across his body like that, you won't get the call, but he got it.
Well, with 2 outs, Worley will face another pinch hitter, a right-handed batter, Chris Davis, batting for the pitcher Peralta. Ball 1 to Davis. 246 the average, 22 homers, 68 runs batted, and he's the regular left fielder. Did not start today and comes off the bench for Ron Renicky. 1-0. Swung on a ground ball to short. Mercer there. Fires on to first to get him. A 9-pitch inning for Vance Worley. And he has retired 13 in a row. 1-0 Pirates heading to the bottom of the 8th. A big part of the Pirates story today, certainly one of his best outings.
He just has done a fantastic job at a big time. We were a little concerned maybe about the control, at least I was, because you never really know after a couple of extra days off. Are you going to be overthrown, maybe a little less strong, but that wasn't the case. Just a big time effort from Vance.
That's Worley. Hugs and high fives.
Everybody pulls for everybody in that dugout.
Well, that's what Clint Hurdle talks about often. He talks about how this team has a group of guys that celebrate everybody else's success. Whirl him up, Worley. We love Bob. I love you, Bob. Starters, Peralta, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, and numbers on Worley, 8, 4, and a bunch of zeros with 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, the one thing that stands out, I think, for this series has been the work of the starting pitching from both clubs. It's been impressive.
Andrew Lambeau at the plate to pinch hit for Worley. Lambeau 5 for 11 as a pinch hitter. Doing a good job in that area. Hector Gomez comes into play shortstop for the Brewers as Segura is out. And Marco Estrada, who appeared in the game last night, is in. And Lambeau curls one toward the line and left. That's a long run for Parra, and he makes the catch. On a dead run, Gerardo Parra records the out. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Get on board with the Pirates in 2015. The Pirates are now accepting deposits for full and partial season ticket memberships. Get access to exclusive events, the best locations and savings, and customizable memberships. Plus 2015 full season deposits receive 2014 postseason priority. For more information, go to pirates.com/membership. Josh Harrison at the plate. He's 2 for 3. Takes a strike from Estrada. 319. He's back in front of Justin Morneau for the National League lead in average. Morneau and the Rockies play later against Arizona in Denver. Down the stretch we go as not only we look for the Pirates to try to wrap up a playoff spot here in the next few days, but keeping a close eye on Josh Harrison in the race for the National League batting crown. Buster Posey, the Giants, tied with McCutchen for third. Two-one pitch. That's 2-2. Josh had an infield single in the third and a bunt base hit in the sixth. Count is full. Tony Watson would come out and pitch the ninth. Well, Watson has pitched 4 of the last 5 days. That one shot fouling out of play. Nationals beat the Marlins. And the Mets ahead of Atlanta. If the Mets beat Atlanta, Atlanta's postseason hopes would be done. And a bounding ball to short. Hector Gomez grabs it. Rifles it onto first to get J-Hay. Harrison 2 for 4.
Yeah, 2 for 4 is all right. Do that the rest of the way out.
Gotta like his chances. If he does that,
you're going to win the batting title. Get 1 hit every day. It might not be absolutely enough. You may mix in a few base on balls here and there, but I mean that's what you're going to go for. You can't have any of those offers. That's what he needs to avoid.
Here's Polanco's first plate appearance this afternoon. Came in as a defensive replacement in the 7th. 1-0 to Gregory. Vance Worley, his best outing since the 28th of July in San Francisco against the Giants. That is a shattered bat foul ball. His bat just blew up on him.
Just got in that cupped in and peeled a piece off.
Some of that might be headed to the woodpile.
Well, a lot of bats are cupped in the end of them. They're kind of hollowed out spot, and if that ball hits in that cup, it'll just peel a big chunk right out of it.
1-1, and Gregory launches one foul down the left side. 1-2.
There you get a shot there. You can see the hollowed out end of the bat.
Estrada's 1-2 pitch. That's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Polanco. Top of the order is 2 up in the top of the 9th. Gomez, Jeanette, and Lucroy from Milwaukee. Polanco foul tips it into the glove of Lucroy. That ends the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll head to the 9th. Tony Watson will come on to try to save it for Vance Worley. Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. 1-0 Pirates as we go to the top half of the 9th inning. Non-stop action, heart-pounding, exciting, historic performances. Don't miss the 2014 postseason beginning September 30th. For Pirates fans, they want it now. Brewers won the game 1-0 last night. Pirates with a 1-0 lead. 3 outs to go to take the series 2 out of 3 and trim the magic number from 5 to 3.
They're 3 outs away from taking a rather large step going to that postseason. And it'll be Tony Watson trying to nail it down. Had a fabulous season to this point. 10-1 record. Coming out of the bullpen, you gotta love that.
He'll face Carlos Gomez, the center fielder.
Let me amend that statement. You gotta love that as long as you're not a closer. 10-1 for a closer might not be something to brag about. Anybody else coming out of that bullpen, you're fortunate enough to put up 10 wins. That's huge.
Gomez bunts, and it's foul. Brewers trying to get a base runner any way they can.
Gomez was so successful at that early in his career, the bunt toward first base. At least against us he was. That's one of the things I remember about him. How good he was at doing that. How successful he was. He had pushed that ball out there toward the second baseman.
Ball and a strike on Gomez.
Big shadow he's got to deal with.
Tries to bunt again. And bunts it foul for strike 2. Carlos Gomez is 0 for 3.
You can see by that line, 21 home runs. He's not a guy that you think of as trying to bunt for hits all the time anymore.
There's this one off. We tried to bunt with the bases loaded in extra innings game against the Cardinals Thursday. Trying to do it twice.
Well, since he's become an everyday player, he really has become a more than just a speed guy with that power he has, especially in their ballpark. Very home run friendly.
Walker leaping, not going to get it. Base hit. And Gomez turning first, a huge turn. And a leadoff single for Carlos Gomez in the 9th. The Brewers got the base runner they wanted.
Well, they're playing for their playoff lives right now. They really do have to win, and they're looking at going down to the magic number of 3. I mean, I don't know how you can really have hopes after that. They got to do it right here in this 9th inning, and that's why you see the emotion.
Ricky Weeks will pinch hit for Scooter Gennett. And Weeks takes a strike. And Weeks is a pretty good strikeout candidate. He's usually had high strikeout totals. So Gomez at first, and he is a threat to run. He has 33 steals. Been caught 11 times. Watson's pitch, and Weeks fouls it off for strike 2.
Got a one-way lead back to first base. He's making sure he's not going to be picked off. There you see. He moves back. That's a little bit more than a one-way lead. Kind of just supposed to be leaning back towards second, not actually running back to the bag.
High chopper fielded by Watson. He goes to first. Safe at first. Throw to second. They got Gomez hung up. Harrison running him back. Josh tagging Gomez, and the lead runner is out. And out on the base paths for the Brewers in the ninth.
As it turned out, they got lucky they didn't get the out at first. If they would have got the out at first base, that would have worked like a sacrifice bunt. They'd have had the tying run out in scoring position. But the aggressiveness of Gomez, it cost him. He's watching the throw. He sees it start to get away, and he thought that it had bounced further than that. We saw him take that big turn around first base when he hit that single. And the big turn here cost him and maybe the Brewers. Is there a better guy to tag somebody in a rundown than Jay?
No. He's the best.
You're not getting away from him.
So Gomez is out, one down. That'll be considered a base hit for Weeks. Now Elian Herrera will come in the pinch run for him. Herrera scored the game winner last night. Jonathan Lucroy, one out, one on. And Lucroy fouls this one off. For 3 for Lucroy today. He grounded out to Harrison in the first inning, grounded back to Worley in the fourth, and then struck out swinging in the sixth. Nothing in one. Flared into the seats for a strike, and it's 0-2. Another nail biter for the skipper.
He likes them like this. Always cool and calm.
The 0-2 to Jonathan Lucroy from Tony Watson. Throw to first, and back is Herrera. Down the wire in this series. Final home game of the regular season. 0-2. Got a piece of it, knocked it foul.
Last fastball at 97. Where'd that come from?
He geared it up.
Everything was perfect coming out of the hand.
Oh, 2 to Lucroy. Watson wanted it, and so did 38,000 plus.
Could have been. It's close. Just off by a smidgen.
Tony again set at the belt. And Lucroy pulls one foul. Great catch. And one out here in the top of the ninth inning, and a pivotal game. Pirates can trim 2 off the magic number. And effectively end the Brewers' hopes for a postseason run. Throw to first base quickly, and Herrera gets back. Still have 2 outs to go to get there. Tony's 1-2. And this one is flared out to short left. Mercer's got it. 1 out to go.
Time to stand up. Wind really kicking up right now. Got those Jolly Rogers starched out.
Ramirez at the plate. 2 down, top of the 9th. Throw to first, and Herrera back. And the throw to first. Stands between a win today is a former Pirate, Ramirez. Outside ball 1. Well, to Ramirez, who today had a base hit in the 2nd inning. Grounded out to Walker in the 4th and fly to Snyder and Wright in the 7th. He wants to get rid of the glasses now that the sun has gone behind the clouds. One ball, 1 strike.
Oh, another 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Tony is really finding some velocity this afternoon. Smoking some of these fastballs in there.
Tony has 2 career saves. 1-1. And it hit him. Ramirez hit by a pitch, and that will push the tying run into scoring position. First and second with 2 outs for the Brewers.
Yeah. Not a good thing. Anytime you put yourself in a position where a single can give up this big run, that's obviously a bad move, and really surprising to see Watson hit that ball that far inside.
Logan Schaefer will pinch run.
A lot of fist bumps for taking one for the team.
And Ryan Braun at the plate. Braun is 1 for 3. He's hit into a double play today also. 2 on, 2 out. Watson against Braun. 1-0 Pirates. The pitch. Swung on, and that one is well hit to left center, but catches there. He's got it. And the Pirates win it 1-0. And cut the magic number from 5 to 3. 51 wins at home is a PNC Park record. It's the most number of home wins since the Pirates had 53 in 1992.
Well, moving that magic number to 3, I mean, this is, you can look at it like this, just a giant down payment on that wild card game. I mean, this is big for the Pirates. you're talking just a couple more wins and one more loss for the Brewers. I mean, this is a great win for the Pirates. Really a devastating loss for the guys in the other dugout, the Brewers. This was huge today.
Well, McCutchen scores the game-winning run, driven in by Russell Martin. Martin with 2 game-winning RBIs in both Pirates wins against the Brewers. So on Fan Appreciation Day in front of a sold-out house at packed PNC Park for a franchise record in attendance, the Pirates send them home happy and now head on the road for the final 7 of the regular season, hoping to clinch sometime in Atlanta. 3 behind the Cardinals, who have yet to start against the Reds today, and now a half game behind the Giants for the first wild card spot. 1-0. The final score. The Pirates win it. Let's send you downstairs right now where Rob King is standing by.